Today on Virtual Justice with Judge Faith.
You are suing Miss Amber Reynolds for $1,200 you say she owes you in loans.
She completely pulls the rug out from under you, like she did with me. Like the worst magician in the world, she asked for a ton of money, and then she disappeared, and she never came back. She ghosted me. This was a huge scam. She says that she's in a really rough spot, and that she's possibly not going to even be able to pay her rent, and that she needs $500. So yeah, I gave her the money. That I wrote that it was a loan.
Ms. Reynolds, are you saying that the $500 for the rent was a gift?
For the first time, we're bringing justice to you. Your location is the courtroom, and the truth has nowhere to hide.
That tells me all I need to know. I understand you don't like each other. I don't care.
Judge Faith, a former criminal prosecutor, legal analyst, and now creator of the first courtroom where justice has no walls, filters, or boundaries. Only truth. Virtual Justice with Judge Faith.
You're watching a special 2-week preview of Virtual Justice with Judge Faith. Want access to brand new cases and weekly live discussions with me? Stick around. I'll tell you how.
Mr. Ryan Pistorius.
Yes, Your Honor.
You are suing Miss Amber Reynolds.
Yes, Your Honor.
For $1,200 you say she owes you in loans, $500 for rent, $300 for car repair, and $400 for yoga training courses.
That's correct, Your Honor. Yes.
And I understand from your complaint, the two of you were in a relationship. Is that correct?
Yes, we were for a few weeks.
Give me some background on your relationship. You said a few weeks, and now we're talking about over $1,000 worth of loans. So tell me how you met and give me a little bit of background.
Okay, Amber reached out to me on a dating app, and it was an app where only the females can contact the males. So she reached out to me. She said, it seems like we might get along. And I looked at her profile. She seemed like the complete opposite version of who I am. I'm someone who likes to plan for the future. I'm someone who likes to financially make sure that I know exactly where all my money is going. Amber seemed very ambitious. And so we went on a few dates, and it was going really well.
Well, hold on, Mr. Pistorius, because you said she seemed like the complete opposite of you, but you still wanted to go out on a date with her? Why?
He said I was spontaneous. I just want to say he said I was spontaneous, and that was hot.
Yes, that is true, Your Honor. I did say that her spontaneity was definitely very attractive to me. And yeah, it's just different. I'm someone who is always thinking inside of a box, and I liked that she was ambitious. She had dreams. She wanted to be a yoga instructor and create something, in the yoga world that could change the world. So that was infectious to me.
What made you choose him on this app, Miss Reynolds?
I like a man that is routined and organized, and I wanna meet someone who is my total opposite. I mean, opposites attract. Like, that's the whole point. I don't want to meet someone who's also spontaneous. I want someone to ground me. And I met him, and my side of spontaneity sparked him, and his side of being routine, hey, let's get up at 6 a.m., let's go for a hike, and then let's have a smoothie. I thought wow, this is my kind of guy.
Yeah, may I say something really quick?
Yes, Mr. Pistorius. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I just want to say that what the presentation that Amber is putting on right now, this is very, very typical of her. She does a really good job of making people feel safe, making people feel like they're completely on the same team. And then what she does is she completely pulls the rug out from under you, like she did with me, and she will completely ghost you, which is what she did to me. Like the worst magician in the world, she asked for a ton of money, and then she disappeared, and she never came back. She ghosted me. This was a huge scam. Okay.
Falling out of love, Ryan. I'm sorry we weren't compatible in the end, but it's called falling out of love.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry to tell you, Amber, but I was never in love with you.
Let's talk about the money issues that are at hand, because clearly the two of you are not on the same page about the relationship and how it was going. But because, Mr. Pistorius, you talk about the structure and living life in such a box, how did you end up, you say, giving her so much money over the course of just a few weeks? What happened? What was the conversation?
So one of my greatest strengths and worst fault is that I am a people pleaser. And when I see someone who is in need, I want to help them. It's just part of my nature. It's how my family taught me and raised me. So when we went out on a few dates, everything was fine. And then on maybe our fourth date, I want to say, we went and got sushi and we're sitting there and just very casually, Amber drops, "I'm really in a rough spot right now. I'm having a really rough time."
Not casually.
You will have your chance to respond. Go ahead, sir.
So she says that she's in a really rough spot and that she's possibly not going to even be able to pay her rent and that she needs $500. So I'm sitting there across from this person who I'm connecting with really well, I really like, and I'm thinking to myself, well, this is a no-brainer. I have money saved away. I'm very fiscally conservative with my money. So this is the reason that I am conservative, because I want to be able to help people. I want to be able to spend money without worrying about it when big, large, life events happen that require a big deposit and whatnot. So yeah, I put some money down. I gave her the money, but I made sure that in the memo, when I sent her the money, that I wrote that it was a loan.
Ms. Reynolds, are you saying that the $500 for the rent was a gift?
Coming up.
Tell me about the $300 in car repair, Mr. Pistorius.
She says, I almost didn't make it here because I need new brakes and I need $300 to replace them, but I don't have it.
Are you saying that that $300 was also a gift? Ms. Reynolds, are you saying that the $500 for the rent was a gift?
Yes, it was a gift. And I'm sorry, but that dinner when we were at sushi and I told you that was me being vulnerable. Are you kidding me right now? That takes a lot to I'm a pretty independent woman. I always have been. And to actually sit there and be like, hey, I'm struggling. I was being vulnerable. I wasn't asking. I was being vulnerable. And you offered. You said, hey, let me help you. And I'm sorry I don't read the Venmo memos, but I didn't see loan. If I would have saw loan, I would have said something. I would have been like, hey, I won't ever be able to pay you this back. I literally am in a tough spot.
So
Ms. Reynolds, I just want to be clear. I want to look at the evidence that was submitted in court today, because you say you submitted a copy of the transaction that you sent over to Ms. Reynolds. And it does say in the memo line, loan. But your defense is, Ms. Reynolds, you never saw the word loan.
No, I would have immediately said something.
Then why did you text me, thank you for the loan?
Wait, you texted him, thank you for the loan?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's just how we refer to things. I wasn't referring to
Actually,
a loan.
No, it's not.
I'm
Ms.
sorry,
Reynolds?
I wasn't born in the legal system. I didn't know.
You
I just
do
was
not have to be born into the legal system or go to law school to know what the word loan means. By definition, using that word alone to describe the money transaction between the two of you, it means that you knew that there was a plan for you to pay this money back. You used the word loan at that point.
Your Honor, have you ever made a mistake using have you ever
you said
yes, but have you ever said something offhand, quickly, and been didn't know what it meant, but you just said it to respond? That's how it was.
I've never referred to a gift as a loan. If you want to talk about my personal experiences, no, I have not, because I understand if I refer to something as a loan, that means there's an intention that I will pay it back.
As far as I know, when a man gives a gift, it's a gift. That's what I'm told. It's a gift.
Then you could have easily said, thank you for the gift, but you said, thank you for the loan. That is the difference. Tell me about the $300 in car repair, Mr. Pistorius.
So then a week or so later, after $500 has been given to her, we go out to a movie. And while we're sitting there just waiting for the movie to start, she says, I almost didn't make it here because I need new brakes and I need $300 to replace them, but I don't have it. So again, I'm sitting there and I'm like, well, I don't want you to get into a car accident.
My brakes were broken. I literally skidded to a halt in the parking. I literally hit one of those yellow things that stops you, and that's how I got a front plate.
But going to the movies was so important to you that night that you jeopardized your life to drive your car knowing that you had bad brakes?
Your Honor, I didn't know I had bad brakes until I was literally trying to stop.
Okay, Ms. Reynolds. So then you accept $300 for car repairs. Are you saying that that $300 was also a gift?
I do believe that was a gift.
And Mr. Pistorius, why do you say that that was also a loan, sir, and not a gift, and you expected to be repaid?
Your Honor, once again, in the memo, I wrote loan. And also, Amber eventually called me and said, thank you so much for keeping me afloat. I promise you I will pay back the loan. I have a voicemail, which I believe I submitted to you.
Let's play the voicemail and I'll take a listen.
Hey Ryan, just wanted to say thank you so much for the money, the $300 for the car repair. Oh my gosh, thanks for loaning me that. I am so thankful. Thank you. I will pay you back. I promise. Okay, I'll see you tonight.
So, Ms. Reynolds, are you denying that you are the person that I'm listening to on this voicemail where you refer to this money as a loan? Is that you?
No, that is me, Your Honor. However, I think I go within the same thing of just quickly saying it was a rushed voicemail. Like, I'm saying thank you for this loan. Another thoughtful thing of me not
You were
thinking
pressed
loan.
for time, so you used the word loan. That's what you're saying.
Yes, I'm saying
Okay.
I by accident used the wrong verbiage. Sorry.
Okay.
Sometimes I do
Okay,
that.
Ms.
Even when I'm
Reynolds.
even when I'm doing a yoga class, I use the wrong wording. The class doesn't hate me after that. They're like, oh wow, she just was spur of the moment, used whatever language she needed.
Okay. $400 for Ms. Reynolds. This case isn't going very well for you today. You have one more claim for $400, Mr. Pistorius, for you say you gave her money for yoga classes. What happened with that?
So another date, we're out. She starts telling me how she's got her 200-hour certification for yoga, but now she wants to take it to the next level. It's all part of this dream that she has of using yoga for therapy, and that there's this retreat that she can go on for $400 to basically get her certification to use yoga as a therapy. Again,
Yes.
her ambition was infectious. It was blinding to me. I have not had the most success in the dating world, so maybe I was a little naive. Maybe I was allowing myself to be taken advantage of a little bit. But I had my blinders on, and I gave her another $400.
You said you wanted to invest in my future. If someone wants to invest in me, I'm going to say yes, please. Like,
Mr.
Yes.
Mr. Pistorius, you took the words out of my mouth because I was about to ask you why you keep lending someone money who hasn't paid you back anything so far. And I know this was just over the course of a few weeks, but sir, you were in a relationship, so you thought, but it seems like you were more so in a short-term funding program.
If this moment had you talking to the screen, wait until you see the rest of the cases. On my Virtual Justice channel, I go live every week to break it all down and share brand new episodes. Scan the code now to join me.
Coming up,
After that third payment, she unmatched me on the dating app. She blocked me on social media. She wouldn't answer my calls. She completely disappeared from my life.
Mr. Pistorius, I understand that you brought a witness to court with you today, sir.
Yes, Your Honor, I did. I found out that I'm not the only one that Amber has done this to.
Your Honor, she did the exact same thing to
that
me that
is
she did to
Mm-mm.
Brian.
Sir, you were in a relationship, so you thought, but it seems like you were more so in a short-term funding program.
Yeah, absolutely. I was basically funding whatever scam she was pulling. I was just funding it
why
and not
do you
really
say-
in a relationship.
Well, I know you say this is a scam, but that is a different description. That, I think, takes things to another level. People give money, loan people money all the time, and they don't pay it back. I'm not sure that the intention is to scam someone more so than they need money. You're willing to give it, so she keeps asking. What happened with the $400? Are you saying that was a gift as well?
That was not a gift. It was
Miss
it
Reynolds.
was-
I'm asking Miss
oh.
Reynolds. Was that a
that
gift as well, Miss Reynolds?
Yes, I believed. He told me his exact words were on that date, let me invest in your future. Like, That wasn't, hey, let me loan you money. It was, let me invest in you. I didn't even ask. I wasn't like, hey, give me money for my future. I was saying, we were talking about hopes and dreams. It was such like a wonderful evening talking about hopes and dreams. And I said, oh, wow, this would be really amazing. There's this program. I really want to do trauma enforced yoga practice. It'll bring me to the next level. And I was just talking about hopes and dreams. And he literally said, let me invest in you. Let me invest in this. I'm sorry, I did not think like that was a loan. I would never have taken that if I thought it was a loan. I thought even like if someone says you want to invest in you, you're like, oh my God, finally, I've met someone who wants to invest in me.
I'm sorry, but that is just not true. It's just not true. You knew that it was not a gift. You knew it was a loan. And Your Honor, she completely ghosted me. That's why I do feel it was a scam. She completely, after that third payment, she unmatched me on the dating app. She blocked me on social media. She stopped allowing me to talk to her on the phone. She wouldn't answer my calls. She completely disappeared from my life. So
because you were harassing me about money. It reminded me of my childhood. Of course I'm going to disappear. I felt like I was being controlled.
You admit that you blocked him and you ghosted and you never communicated with him again, correct?
I literally said, I'm going to take some space. And I'm sorry, I thought that was enough information.
And that space also meant you were taking the $1,200 that he, according to you, gave you, and you were taking space knowing that you had not paid any of this money back to him. Mr. Pistorius, I understand that you brought a witness to court with you today, sir?
Yes, Your Honor, I did, because what I found out by posting this on social media that we were going to end up in court today, because I have a lot of friends who are following this whole story. And I found out that I'm not the only one that Amber has done this to. There's actually a past ex-boyfriend named Brian, who you're about to meet, who she's done the exact same thing to.
Okay, so let's bring in your witness. I would love to hear from Mr. Brian. Mr. Brian, how are you?
I'm good, Your Honor. Thank you.
Tell me what you know about this case and how you know Miss Reynolds and Mr. Pistorius.
I briefly dated Miss Reynolds, Amber, about a year ago. Honestly, it's going to seem like deja vu. We met on a dating app and we dated for just a couple of months. Your Honor, she did the exact same thing to me that she did to Brian.
And what is that exactly?
So what happened was we were dating for a couple of weeks, and then she mentions that she's a little bit behind on some of her credit cards, very offhandedly. And so I said that I could, help her, temporarily. I could loan her a little bit of money. I loaned her about $700 for the credit cards, and then must have been 1 or 2 weeks later, she was asking about money for a website that she was going to do some sort of crystal healing or crystals of some kind.
This is, Your Honor. This is
so
wild.
She was going through a rough patch as well. A part of those credit card payments were because of things that we did together, Brian. That's ridiculous. And the fact that you're here today. Are you going through rough patches every year with a new man?
Yeah, I think so, Your Honor.
No, I am not. I had a boyfriend before Brian and it lasted 6 years. I'm sorry that my relationships don't last these last 2. I'm using the dating apps. Brian and I matched. We did really well. We dated for like 3 months. And you literally, you were the reason my credit card debt got so high because you insisted on us go skydiving. You insisted on us go do that race car driving. You were literally like, that's why I don't match with someone who matches my energy of spontaneity, because him and I were too matched.
Amber, I paid for it. I was happy to pay for dates. I like extravagant dates and fun things that I like that. But then asking for money for specific life things, that's different. That's something else.
And how did the relationship end between the two of you, Mr. Hill?
It was traumatic.
Mr. Hill,
Your Honor,
I'd like to hear from you.
Your Honor, she completely ghosted me. She completely left me. She unmatched me. I couldn't get out. I tried calling, I tried texting, and
it was stalking. It was called stalking.
No, Your Honor, that is her favorite word to use.
Court. Let's have order in the court. I think I've heard enough. Thank you, Mr. Hill, for being here today. This is interesting because Ms. Reynolds doesn't sound like you're going through a rough patch with these men. It sounds like it's a financial strategy that you're implementing. And what I think is happening, and it happens more often than we see, because a lot of people, they get taken advantage of. They don't want to come to court because they're embarrassed about it. So they just let things go and they chalk it up to a life lesson. But Mr. Pistorius said no. He had his proof. So one thing about it, most people come into this courtroom and they say, oh, I was dating this woman or this man. I loaned them money, but there's no evidence of it whatsoever. There's nothing, because there's no paper trail. They don't text. They don't put anything in the memos. But Mr. Pistorius is different. He came into court today. He presented his evidence. It clearly says loan. You accepted the money. There is a principle under the law that when you accept money and you spend it and the notation is made, or what the description is, there's a principle that it's assumed that you saw that. It is presumed that you saw and you accepted it under those terms and conditions. And I am going to apply that principle today.
You're watching a 2-week preview of Virtual Justice with Judge Faith. The full season continues on my Fireside channel with brand new cases, shocking verdicts, and weekly live Q&As with me. Don't miss it. Subscribe now.
I think that all of the money, there's no clear proof about the $400 for the yoga, but because I find you to be not credible about the rent and the car repair, I'm actually going to credit Mr. Pistorius' testimony as well about the money for yoga, that was also a loan. Mr. Pistorius.
Yes, Your Honor.
Also, I want to say this about the ghosting, right? When someone disappears after getting money, I find that most likely it's because they knew the money wasn't a gift. They knew it was a transaction they never planned on completing. So you ghosting is actual further evidence that you knew that there was an expectation that you pay this
Your
money
Honor.
back. Ms. Reynolds, you're not talking and you're listening. And by the way, you came to court today in your yoga attire. I understand that you're a yoga teacher and you teach classes, but when you come to court, you should dress appropriate for
Your
court.
Honor, I'm so sorry. I came directly from a class.
So apology accepted. But who you really owe the apology to is Mr. Pistorius and Mr. Hill. So now I understand why you use the term scam, because that's what's happening here.
Yes.
So in this case, I find that before I give my ruling, I want to say this to you, Mr. Pistorius. I understand that you have not been lucky in dating and in love. But you cannot buy somebody's love. You cannot buy their attention. You cannot buy their affection. And when someone comes in so early on and money starts coming up right away, that should be a red flag and a signal to you. And what does red mean? It means stop. It means don't go any further. It means take a step back and take a break. Because are they genuinely interested in you? Or are they interested in what they can get from you? So take that as a lesson going forward. But because you actually have a paper trail in terms of this money, in terms of the description, I find for you in this case, $1,200 for the rent, the car repair, and also for the yoga classes. Judgment in this case is for the plaintiff. Good luck, Mr. Pistorius.
Thank you. Thank you, Your Honor.